Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 127 of the Red Force podcast. My name's Eric Talado, joined me today. Who's Talado?
Another week with no chapter.
Death Circle Loop of Pain, Christian. Now, did we test it that the
what?
all the audio
Accoutrements.
drops are incorrectly?
Yes,
I don't know if we did. Let's see.
Hit it again.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah, it's in. Well,
it's not making static, so I know we'll use it. But, call in show, Christian. The people will get their time to discuss whatever they want.
that's right. You
That other light isn't on, that's good.
keep it chill.
Keep it
All right,
deep.
keep it chill.
We're in
This is
despair, so
straight
keep it-
pain.
Yeah. We need that. We need those chapters.
All right,
We need that momentum.
I
The momentum is
need-
getting broken.
that medicine. All right, just that one piece going through my veins. Get it into it. Getting hyped. Getting the momentum, as you said.
Should be back at some point, right?
You would assume so, but here we are.
In the death zone.
That was anything to talk about.
Twitter's getting hot.
Twitter's just heating up as there's no chapters coming out. People
The hot takes.
are just spewing hot takes, left and right.
The panel discussion.
The
keeps
panel
getting
agenda
brought
is still getting brought up.
Enraging.
Ridiculous. Stupidity. You're just straight wrong, but we've already discussed that, alright?
Yeah. Well, you know what? The One Piece landscape barren.
No anime, no manga, no nothing, alright? Nothing to really talk about there.
But next week we got a chapter.
Next week we do have a chapter. Let's hope Kid actually does something. Let's hope we get something there.
Would it be hilarious if Luffy just jet pistols him and he dies?
Steals the kill.
Yeah. Would that be hilarious, or would people be absolutely blood red mad? Because I would enjoy that very, very much.
It kind of makes Kid useless.
Correct.
It's kind of like you just take Kid, take his food, take it from him. It's not really gonna help Kid's character if Luffy steals the kill, right? Luffy's not gonna steal the kill.
Shout out JD Legend on last week. Hit 3,000
Is that a coincidence?
subs.
Coincidence?
Perhaps.
All right.
Speaking of subs, you can subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share the channel.
Sure. Hit the bell.
We're in a dark time here. We need all we can get. Right?
It's a dark time.
All the discussions we can get.
It's a dark time.
So yeah, what else is going on?
What else is going on? Projects in the works.
Shadow Souls keep on rolling out.
Keeps on rolling out.
Artist Reverie coming out, memeing.
Those chapters are just meme chapters at this point. So we'll say
Shout out to the Gorosei revealing their powers.
Shout outs to those chapters.
How many times do we have to cover the Gorosei on this podcast? We've done it at least 10 times.
They're a recurring theme of the show. Just the Gorosei agenda.
I feel like some 4 or 5 years ago was put to bed.
Yeah.
And it's resurfaced very strongly. The Gorosei agenda.
It's always lurking.
Perhaps Aimu resurrected it.
It's always lurking.
Yeah.
Alright. So, do you just want to get into the call-in show? We only have a few topics.
Yeah. One guy sitting in the street.
It's a sad time in the One Piece landscape. No one's excited to really talk about certain topics.
We can talk forever though.
Well, we can talk. Well, we can pull anything out. All right. We can talk about One Piece for hours. All right, as we do every week. But people. I'm not feeling the excitement.
Again,
We're supposed to be in a very exciting time.
The momentum
in the One Piece
momentum
universe.
is broken,
Right?
and that's a big problem.
There's a very big problem. We're supposed to be the exciting time of the manga. The war's about to start, and I'm not feeling that we're getting the excitement. Is it because of these breaks?
Yes.
You know.
They're very short chapters because they're action chapters.
Yeah. And then compounded on top of that with the breaks.
So there's not much meat on the bone to begin with last week.
Yeah.
To talk about, unlike other weeks.
Sure.
We're starting to get into that action, fast-paced stuff.
Yeah.
And you need momentum for that thing to start rolling.
Sure. All right. Well, let's get into the topics. Yeah, let's just get into the topics. All right. Now, to get your topics on the show, all you have to do is simply join the Discord and post it in the VC chat section.
Just hang out in the general chat as well if you want.
Hang out in the general chat if you want. We've got slots open. Got plenty of time. If you want to join, go join. Mm-hmm. All right. First topic from Dart. Waiting for the Great Cleansing. First topic is, I want to discuss plot armor. What counts and what doesn't count as plot armor? Is there such a thing as good plot armor? Is it always bad, etc.? Now, the line's just flicking because Eric...
Was that dramatic? Was that a dramatic harking false, Christian?
Eric just got blood red mad instantly off that question. And he flickered the lights.
Well, he's asking the question of when it's appropriate, when it's not, and what is and what isn't.
Alright.
Maybe he's inspired by the Al conversation.
Are you going to wager that plot armor doesn't exist? Alright, let's...
I want to see what plot armor even means.
Let's bring Dart in.
Let's see what Dart defines as plot armor.
Alright. Dart, you're on the show.
Dart. And of course...
We're waiting.
Always a delay.
Waiting for Dart.
Oh?
Hello, we're here.
Now, hello, how's it going?
Dart, you're on the show. You
Christian,
wanted to talk about plot armor.
Make sure you're monitoring the desktop audio settings, Christian.
I am.
Okay.
We're looking good. He's looking clean, alright? He's looking clean.
Because people complaining about the audio levels last week.
Sure, we're looking clean. Good audio, alright? Now, tell us what your topic is, Dart.
Well, I feel like sometimes it's basically plot armor. Like, you know,
Yeah.
people always use it as like they don't like something, the main character wins, the main character does something as plot armor. And it's like, you know, is it bad all the time? What counts as plot armor? What doesn't count as plot armor? Is there plot armor for the villains as well? Like, it doesn't even have to be One Piece, just for like anything at all.
Yeah. So, I think we could say that. Here's the problem.
Shall we define plot armor?
Well, a plot armor is when the plot shows itself, basically in the story. All right, Eric's looking up a definition.
Sometimes referred to as script immunity or
Yes.
character shields, plot armor is a main character's life and health are safeguarded by the fact that he's one person who can't be removed from the story.
Yes, it's when the plot shows itself in the story and it's too obvious. Because the story is written by a man, by someone.
Sure.
All right? Anyone can write a story. All right? So, the plot armor always exists because the outcome is predetermined.
Game
by
of
the writer.
Thrones, Dinklage can't die.
No. All right? A lot of characters can't die in that show. A lot of characters can die in that show.
Sure.
All right? So, plot armor does exist, but it always exists, but people complain about it when it shows its head. You don't want to see the seams in the play.
Now,
Alright? You don't want to see
the
it.
Crocodile agenda comes into play here, Christian.
Sure.
People say Luffy only beat Crocodile and Alabasta because he's the main character.
Is that a power scaling issue? Is that a... What is that?
I feel like that's probably a character agenda issue that doesn't really exist in that sense.
Well, it's kind of like a character... It's like a moment where a character should have lost or should have died. But they didn't.
So would you say Robin saving Luffy and Alabasta's plot armor?
Well, it's like...
Some people would say that.
Some people would say that, but you could also say it's... You know, it's for Robin, it's for a turning point of the character, it's for something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be plot armor. It doesn't necessarily have to be... Well, everyone brings up Luffy vs. Katakuri as the prime example.
What?
Luffy getting the shit kicked out of him, 12 hours running away, all this kind of bullshit, just so Luffy can win at the end.
I don't think him running away is an issue. The people take that as more of a
Well, Brule being there, they say it's plot armor. It's coincidence.
sure.
It's too much. Now, obviously, we know Luffy's never going to die in the story.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to feel like
Luffy does cop bells.
He does cop bells, but we always know at the end of the day, he's not going to die.
Mm.
And you always want to feel like he could die to keep those stakes intact.
Sure.
Which is kind of why sometimes when you lose that like it's a personal thing, because it's like, when do you realize the main character can't lose? Is it chapter 1 when you already know that, or is it chapter 200?
Now, is it plot armor that Luffy got one shot by Kaido and got thrown in prison, or is that reasonable?
That's reasonable, because the plot dictate. But here's the thing: the plot dictated that had to happen.
Right.
Right. So if Luffy had to do something in Wano, Kaido knocking him out couldn't have happened. So let's just say Law teleports him out of the way, they escape. Would that be plot armor? Would that be an L for Kaido? Alright? So plot armor, it's a hard one, because obviously you can't kill main characters. That's obvious, alright? No one does it. Not even Game of Thrones does it. Alright? Main characters
What about Death Note?
Is it good after L dies? That's the question, though.
Yeah, that's after the antagonist dies. Is it good?
Are you familiar with Gurren Lagann? Duh.
I am confirmed. Yeah, I have watched Scene Gurren Lagann.
Do you feel like it loses something after spoilers, Christian?
Yeah.
After a certain individual dies? Do you feel
I
like
don't think so.
Do you feel like the show loses something?
Well, it's pretty early on, and he's kind of like the mentor figure. He was not really the main character.
I wouldn't call him a mentor figure in the first season. He's more of a mentor figure after he dies.
Nah.
Because the younger brother's just chilling around.
He kind of takes the mantle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and has to fill the shoes.
You can't...
Is it a good idea to kill your main character and then replace him with someone
Look,
else?
early on, it could be done. We're talking first 50 chapters, first 3 episodes.
Is there such a thing as negative plot armor, Christian, where a character must die?
Well...
We look at Ace, as for an example.
What does that negative plot armor even mean? He's so vulnerable.
He must die for
must
the
die.
plot regardless.
I guess. It's such a dumb argument. It's like...
If plot armor exists, then the anti-plot armor must exist as well.
Well, that's just plot.
What about
Plot cuts.
What about Gear 4 running out on Don Flamingo? Would that count as like negative plot armor?
Well, that's
that
plot
would be Don Flamingo's favor.
That's
Yeah.
plot armor for the villain, perhaps.
Because the villain has to get the villain speech.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't like it in One Piece, specifically, when people always bring up plot armor for Luffy, but they never talk about the villain plot armor. Luffy always loses a couple fights. The villain always almost wins, always does something out of coincidence. You look at, let's look at Doflamingo, prime example. Gear 4 runs out. Gear 4 didn't have to run out. Oda said Gear 4 ran out. It's not like the viewer was like...
We didn't even know
Gear 4 had a time limit at that point. So it's like...
What do we call situations like the birdcage, where they're literally unbreakable timer?
That's just a Deus Ex Machina. It's a hand of God, basically.
Right.
Just being like... This
Even
is
though
here.
Fujitora was there,
No one can do anything
no one
about
can
it.
do
It's a
anything about
god.
it.
It's a god level ability.
Yeah.
It can't be changed in any way. There is no way out of this situation. So, it's kind of... Plot armors can be dangerous when you, intentionally, you put the main character... You put a character that can't die in a really perilous situation just for hype.
Mm-hmm.
So you put a main character up against, an extreme top-tier, unwinnable situation, and you have them survive in a way that's bullshit just to hype up the villain or the big bad.
Yeah.
So
So the Wano example
Yeah.
isn't too much.
no, because
He explains we go deeper into his crew, understand how his crew works. He likes strength and all that shit.
yeah. But if Luffy got away in that situation, it'd be a different story.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, if the main character can get into a conflict with a top tier and lose, then that's fine.
Is Kaido being drunk plot armor for Luffy?
It does. It's not effective. It's not a factor in the fight though. If it was a factor in the fight, then it would be plot armor, because Luffy is getting away with not having any repercussions.
I feel like
because
Kaido,
of Kaido.
Kaido being negative is just Kaido being drunk rather. Is
Yeah.
kind of showing how bad Luffy is
Yeah.
compared. Because he's doing all his...
Sure, but
it gives him a chance to do all his major attacks
Yeah.
and have nothing happen.
Yeah. The higher the stakes, the higher the audience expects someone to die, someone to lose something. So if a character gets in a really life or death situation and gets off scot-free, the audience feels robbed.
Such as Jinbei for some people.
Jinbei and Hawkeye Gong, prime example. People feel robbed because it diminishes the threat that was posed. The threat of Big Mom, the unwinnable situation, and then Jinbei escapes seemingly unscathed, no repercussions. It seems like we were lied to in a certain way.
Would you say the same for Pound?
Yeah, you could say the same thing for Pound, but we don't really know what's going on with Pound right now. But yeah, if he's alive, you could say the same thing for Pound.
It's confusing because Pound, why even bother?
Yeah, the Pound situation is weird, but what it really breaks down to is the audience feels robbed of some outcome that is most likely, because you don't want the audience to feel rewarded for reading the story. You don't want them to feel robbed of a moment, of a situation.
But is that all just headcanon at that point?
Well, it's on the author for setting up those expectations
When
of
Luffy
massive
says,
danger.
When Luffy says, "I'm gonna beat Kaido 1,000 times,"
Yeah,
the audience expects Luffy to beat Kaido.
kind of like when you in Hawkeye Gone, for example, when you have that whole conversation with Capone, Big Mom's unbeatable. We have to do this sneak attack. We have to do all these plans just to get to her. We can't attack her directly. She's too powerful. Her crew's too powerful. And then that's reflected in the arc. If Luffy
Beats Big Mom.
somehow beats Big Mom in that tea party situation, the audience feels lied to because we were led to believe that we have to do all this roundabout stuff, and we have to do this because the threat is too large.
It's very complex.
Yeah. You don't want to rob the audience of the expectations you set up.
If you intend to guide the audience in a certain direction,
Yeah.
and promise certain things,
Yeah.
they have to pay off, but you also have to balance that with surprise
Yeah.
and twist.
Yeah. It's a balancing act. That's what it all is. It's balancing audience expectations and surprise and hype and whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture. Like sometimes it's broken, sometimes it's not. I mean, no writer's perfect, you know. Look at Game of Thrones at the start, right? You know, spoilers for season 1. Ned Stark dies. The seeming main character dies in season 1.
Yeah.
Shock, terror, throws the whole thing into chaos, right? We set up our
You guys
major
have an
villain.
example of good plot armor.
Yeah, you know, everyone loves Game of Thrones up until a certain season 5 or whatever. Like, it's a well loved show because it manages those expectations perfectly with the world, with the way the world works, the characters, the dynamics.
Do you think if Ace survived, people would be complaining that it's plot armor?
I think they would be because
Yeah.
they would in this situation would is it only Whitebeard that dies and just Ace survives?
Yeah.
I guess so in that situation. Is Whitebeard a good enough sacrifice though, for Ace for surviving? I think so.
I feel like some people would still be complaining it's plot armor because it would not enough was sacrificed to save Ace.
Right.
Yeah. I think the A situation was more of a... Because, yeah, you kind of expect the main character to win and get his brother back, and the whole Whitebeard speech about how he's going to get him back, his son. You know, we didn't come here in vain to lose. So, I don't necessarily think if Ace survived, people would be too upset about it, but it wouldn't be as an iconic moment as it was.
In the chat, but like, you know, if Ace survived, it'd be bad writing. He only died because he talked back to Akaino.
Yeah, like.
But he also stopped to like save Luffy.
Yeah. So Luffy, like, is Mr. 3 being on the platform plot armor?
It's
Because
strange.
how else do we get the keys?
Yeah.
How else do we get the sea stone off?
Well, it was unnecessary for Kizaru to shoot it in the first
the key,
place.
yeah. It's raising stakes to... It's weird. So, like, there's a whole bunch of, like... It's a balancing act, right? You can't really...
I feel like if you sacrifice Whitebeard in more of an active way at the end...
Yeah.
So let's say Ace actually charges Akainu, but Whitebeard intercepts.
Yeah.
It's hard because then people kind of disrespect Ace for running away and not protecting Whitebeard in that regard. But,
Well, we're talking about hypotheticals here. Like... Yeah.
Let's look at Big Mom with amnesia. I don't even know what that is. I don't even think that's plot armor. Like, it's just it's just confusing.
It's not
I
plot-
mean, like,
yeah,
plot armor
confusing.
is assuming it's like she's getting protected, and how is Amnesia protecting her? So I
Well,
wouldn't say it's plot armor.
it protects her from not dying.
No,
in
it protects the
water.
crew from not getting destroyed by Big Mom.
Yeah.
In a certain way.
True.
Like, that's why plot armor is like a weird kind of phrase. Because you could use it in a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's supposed to be a balance. Because you can't have all the characters you spend time with die. Because then the audience has no attachment to any characters already part of the story.
Right.
You have to grow that
But
attachment.
another thing I don't like about it is that like how people try to diminish certain things in stories by just using plot armor. Like they just ignore all the context of what happened in the situation.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, this just happened because of plot armor. I'm not a fan of that.
It's up to the author to make the situation believable and to not break the immersion.
But it also comes down to the honesty of who's saying it. Because, like, people in this community especially, people just say things because they don't like that their headcanon didn't come true.
Yeah.
Or their power scaling is incorrect or whatever. So they're just, like, saying things.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Dart, for your interesting topic on plot armor. You know how people use it. Why
Almost
people
the
use
winner
it.
of last year's favourite phrase.
Plot armor.
Second behind whatever Drit says.
Oh, whatever Drew says is always the most cancerous comment.
Yeah.
All right. So we thank you, Dart. We'll get the next topic in.
No problem. I'll always love being here.
No worries.
Shout outs to the Robin Discord.
Shout
Join
out.
in. The description will be in the comments.
All right.
Alright. Shout out.
All right. Shout out, dude. All right.
What do we
plot
think?
armor.
What do you... it's always a weird thing when people bring up stupid things.
All right. Now, if you want to call in, you join the Discord.
We got a man sitting in general. I don't know
You
if
go
it's
in the
ready to
general
go.
chat, and you call in. But we have our next topic from Abajak. No, Abakjur. I always say.
We could ask his name when he comes in.
I'll ask his name when he comes in. All right. Send it in the Yonko versus Admiral debate once and for all. Now I don't know where this man sits,
This could get
so
spicy.
this could get spicy. Please bring in the man known as something. All right. What's
You're
going
on
on,
the
man?
show.
How's it going?
Good.
Good, mate. How's it going?
Good. I have some comments about the the plot armor debate
All right. All right.
before we continue. Yeah. I think there's two general categories that people confuse. I think there's the category that affects like the continuity of the story,
Sure.
and then there's an issue when you say who's stronger than who.
Yeah.
You know, with that type of plot armor, like power scaling. So, like the Brûlé thing was, it was really convenient to have a pocket dimension when your main power up has a time limit. I think that is, problematic for power scaling, but for the story, it was okay because we had Brûlé that whole arc being being an issue.
Right.
So, would you say? Now, here's the problem I have with that. Is that necessarily plot armor, or is that just a convenience? Is that what that is? You know what I mean? Like, because plot armor is more got to do with, I would say, character death, character injury, that kind of thing. I'm not necessarily sure it's got to do with the setting and who's around, who's there. It might just be a coincidence, a convenience. But anyway. Now, first question for you. How do you pronounce your name?
All right, it's a Becture, but
Becture.
I don't know. Nobody calls me that. It's just my last name.
Okay, all right. Well, a Becture. All right. So there you go. That's how you pronounce it. All right, your topic. Can you please tell us?
All right, so not to fear. I'm not one of those the admiral wankers. Obviously,
Okay.
I have eyes, and I saw what happened at Marineford.
Yeah, everyone saw it.
There's such a thing as author intent, and that's not an imaginary thing. That's not an imaginary concept.
Sure.
We gotta establish that.
Yeah.
First of all, and just basically the big issue I want to bring up is how Awakening, goes into the power scaling debate.
Okay.
And how obviously they were a little restricted Devil Fruit wise on Marineford, the admirals.
So, the Marine, what we want to call it, the Marine agenda is the admirals were not trying a Marineford, right? Everyone brings this up as a kind of meta point,
which is a meme,
which is insanity to me because it doesn't make any sense. So I guess we're
But I think they are onto something in a way, in some skewed perception.
Yeah. So
when I look at the Doflamingo fight and I look at how dramatically the fight changed when it went from hand to hand to Awakening.
Yeah.
Kind of, you're dodging the environment rather than your hand to hand fighting, and
sure.
And I'm gonna say that there's a chance that the admirals fight similarly, and that when you're fighting Aokiji on an awakened island, it's mostly dodging icebergs. You're not really doing hand to hand combat.
Sure.
And so there is a chance that on Marineford for damage control, let's say they weren't allowed to awaken, and so when you have a hand to hand encounter with Marco and you lose that hand-to-hand encounter, it can still be logical that you compete with Yonkos because that's not your main fighting style.
This is the thing with the whole admirals Akainu can't blow up Marineford. Whitebeard also can't sink Marineford, which he probably could.
Well, he tries to at the end when he just does his massive quake punch when they're bailing, but yeah. Aokiji and Akainu have to worry about, friendly fire, casualties. You can say the same for Whitebeard. He's not necessarily going to destroy all his men.
He's also trying to save Ace.
Which is, he's almost going to get executed.
Already at a disadvantage to have a goal.
So, Marineford always, yeah.
But when I look at Whitebeard, I look at how he fought Roger, and I say, okay, I think he's more of a close combat hockey, fighter than somebody who's relying on elements.
Sure.
So I don't think he was nerfed as heavily, and we don't know how the Aokiji Akainu fight went, but it looked like it could have been dodging fucking earthquakes and all that shit. So I don't know.
It's all speculation at this point, but the one thing the Marine people can't ignore is that it took one Emperor, Whitebeard, to almost destroy the entire Marines. One Emperor. Right? And then Shanks turns up and stops the war.
As we
all know.
And they had,
yeah.
Even though they were memeing around, they had the warlords.
Now, the Marine headcanon is that the world government, is as powerful as all 4 emperors combined. Which is straight insanity.
Yeah.
Because
I've heard this agenda from Fiji, I believe.
Yeah, because they ignore the fact that the emperors are not aligned in one group. They're all against each other. They balance out each other.
What do they say about the Garp line with the rocks? About force we can't imagine.
Yeah,
what do they say about that one?
They say, it's from Garp's perspective and it's not necessarily true. So they always got to spin it. They're always going to spin it.
For me, it always comes
I think Garp more than the narrator at this point.
Yeah, I feel like this is the problem with many people when we talk about this. It starts with the first commanders and the commanders.
Sure.
Right? I think people think that the situation with first commanders, admirals, and emperors is somehow condensed and closer than what it actually is.
Yeah.
Like, Emperors should one-shot First Commanders. That's the level. That's a difference.
Yeah, we saw it with the Luffy.
We saw it with Luffy and
Kaido fight. Sure.
Right. That's the level of difference.
Yeah.
Right? A crazy level of difference between First Commanders and Emperors.
Sure. Yeah.
And then the Admirals fit in between that gap. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Right? And you can talk about the Old Man Trio, you can talk about Mihawk, you can talk about Dragon.
Sure.
Right? But that gap is huge. And who knows where they fit in, right?
Yeah. They're in there.
Well, but the problem is there's such a big gap between what kind of fighting style they use or not that I don't know. You kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt in a way.
Yeah, the Devil Fruit matchup is an important factor in
As
any
we saw
fight.
this week's chapter.
As we saw in last week, last chapter.
Yeah.
With Apu doing damage to Zor.
From a day.
Yeah, but it's the Navy agenda bothers me because they say the Navy could take over the world if they wanted to. Well, why don't they? Al-Qaeda, a man of action.
Yes.
Why doesn't he just take over the world?
Makes no sense.
Why weren't they in the New Worlds only 2 years ago? What's going on?
I don't know how you justify. I mean, I've heard like the balance of powers, but it's a problem. That's how it works.
What the Navy people always ignore is that the Emperors are not one solid group that have a goal. They're all against each other. They balance each other out in the New World. That's what people ignore completely.
Yeah.
Even Shanks and Mihawk, who had a mutual friend. I mean, not Shanks and Mihawk, Shanks and Whitebeard.
Sure. You even look at it like they say Marines plus Warlords equal all 4 Emperors. When we even seen Wano, Orochi's like, I have Kaido on my side. Nothing you could do could ever take that. You could ever take Wano.
He basically spits in the face of CP0, and they actually cop it.
Yeah,
because they know. They know.
Look what the Navy has to do to secure weapons. They have to ally themselves with Wano to gather weapons.
And I know I am running short on time, but it brings me to the main point about Whitebeard being the world's strongest man, which I wanted to address because it does become an issue with the Yonko versus Admiral debate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you guys, what's your opinion on world's strongest man? I think we.
Yeah, he's not like the whole point. The whole point of Marineford is that Whitebeard is no longer the strongest man, and that he's older, that he's sick, and he's dying, and this is his last.
And he can't protect his sons anymore.
Yeah.
The whole theme of the dying father, who's going to take over.
Yeah. The dying era, the chaos.
Like, Marco worries about this the entire Marineford fight.
Crocodile says it. Crocodile says, that was embarrassing. Yeah. You've lost your speed, you've lost your haki abilities. Old age, sickness. He has a heart attack on the battlefield. And this man still destroys Al-Qaeda.
Do people forget the hockey drip? I think they do.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to say that Whitebeard at one point was the world's strongest man. I think that's fair.
For many years.
But at Marineford, it's obvious and the point of the story that he is no longer the strongest man. I think that's obvious. Now people say
if Mihawk, was on his deathbed, if he had cancer or something, like, is he still the world's strongest swordsman? Yeah, because nobody knows he has cancer. It's like
like the Marines, no one knows he's sick other than Marco and the crew.
Yeah, so it really doesn't make sense to me that they think that it's possible that the entirety of the Marines could take out all 4 Emperors.
Every time 2 Emperors meet, the Marines lose their minds. If they had 4 Emperor-level characters on their crew, right? Yeah,
on their side.
Why would they be so worried?
Well, the Emperors don't only bring themselves, they bring extremely powerful crews.
The old man.
Yeah. They bring extremely strong crews with them. We're talking commander-level dudes. Are the Vice Admirals commander-level? No.
Stupid Devil Fruits in those crews as well.
Exactly. We talk about Cracker every time we bring this up.
Yeah.
Cracker turns up Marineford. He's basically a one-man army. It's ridiculous. So, not only do they bring their Emperors, they bring extremely powerful
And
crews.
when we talk about the old era with Garp,
Yeah.
Garp seems to be literally the pinnacle of all Navy ever
Yeah.
in
I
terms
agree with
of
that.
power and strength.
Yeah.
Some people out there say, right,
Yeah.
back in the day, all the other admirals were equal to Garp. And I'm saying, where's their legend? Where's their history?
Yeah, do we even have the names of them?
No.
No.
It's always Garp Sengoku, right?
And
Garp being the high man.
and then people bring up Kong, like he was a big deal.
Yeah, and then people think that like Akainu's somehow equal to Garp when like Akainu's literally done nothing.
Well,
Do we know when I think we have like like the vice admiral scenes of the admirals? Do you know if that took place before the fight with Roger and Whitebeard?
Well, it's assumed that the system hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Because
Garp never took the admiral position
Yeah.
back in the day.
So Garp's always been a vice admiral,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
And Sengoku rose to the
how
ranks.
disrespectful would it be for Roger not to mention the admirals when he said
Yeah.
like bring me some?
Well,
Marines?
if you remember in the Onan flashback, they say bring me someone strong like Sengoku or Garp. They don't
Yeah, that's
mention
what he's
anyone
talking
other
about. They don't
names.
talk about some
Yeah.
other guy. They don't talk about Kong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do we know if the timeline overlaps with when like the OG admirals were vice admirals?
In Ohara, what were they? But they weren't even vice admirals in Ohara, were
No,
they?
I think there were.
Were they?
Yeah.
I know how Fiji was.
I think
But
vice admiral.
Borsellino had his flashback with Fisher Tiger.
Yeah, and he's.
I don't know when that
I'm
was.
pretty sure he's still a vice admiral there with the Fisher Tiger flashback. And then you got Vice Admiral Sakazuki.
Yeah, so anyway, Roger doesn't even talk about the other admiral.
Well, they're still young, so is it fair to say that
No,
admiral?
but like not Borsellino. I'm talking about these characters we don't know about.
Yeah, like this Lizette, perhaps.
The assumed admirals.
Yeah.
That should be there,
Yeah,
like Zephyr,
yeah.
non-canon.
Non-canon,
But
maybe
we know,
canon.
We know
yeah.
there are admirals before these new admirals,
Sure.
and
Maybe
Roger
that-
disrespects them.
They would never leave like Marineford unless like Celestial got punched, so they never ran into Roger and Whitebeard.
Or Garp and Sengoku are literally the pinnacle of the entire
Yeah,
Navy ever.
because the great. You got to remember, right? The Great Pirate Era started when Roger died. Therefore, the Navy would have to beef up their resources.
Yeah.
So before the Great Pirate Era, were the Navy even as powerful as what we see them now? Was it necessary for them to be so strong to try and contain the Great Pirate Era? You know, we don't necessarily
Well, there was
know the question.
rocks, you know, all that stuff. Maybe they're building up. I'm sure Garp was a great asset that they probably relied on heavily.
Yeah.
And Sengoku.
So we don't necessarily know the state of the world government 40 years ago. Or 30, 20
How
years
good would
ago.
it be to get a Garp spin-off?
Gal spin-off, Roger spin-off. Craziness.
The Monkey D bloodline makes me curious.
Powerful.
Powerful.
Anyway.
Alright, there you go. I don't know that we finally settled this debate. I don't think it will ever be settled until the end of the story.
Well, the problem is, right, we need a current day Emperor to fight a current day Admiral with no bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
The problem is when we get to the end of the story with Luffy,
Yeah.
people can spin it any way they want.
Luffy's Emperor Plus.
Luffy's 17 times stronger than Roger.
Yeah.
All this stuff, alright? So we don't... It's going to be spun around.
It's going to be spun regardless. Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abekja, if I said that right.
Appreciate the call.
Perfect.
Alright.
Beautiful.
See you, man.
All right, take it easy.
And there we go.
The
Christian.
agenda will never die.
At least the man was on our side, kind of.
Yeah. Alright?
Christian, we respect the Admiral's power here.
We
We're
do.
not saying they're chumps.
But
Who's closer to each other? Wait. Who's closer to each other, right?
what?
The Admirals are the first commanders, or the Admirals are the Emperors? Who's closer in terms of power?
Terms of power. Say that again.
Let's say the first commanders are 0.
Yeah.
The Emperors are 100, right?
Okay.
Just for numbers.
That's what arguments
Where
say.
are the Admirals? Are they 50? Are they
They gotta-
60?
you
Are they
gotta-
40?
you gotta
Where are they? Who's closer?
You got to assume they're 50.
So it's an equal distance between each other.
it's so vast.
It is a vast gap between First Commander and Emperor.
Well, what that means is two admirals can be
Don't
an
worry
emperor.
about the math of the numbers.
Alright,
It's
that's
more
all-
of a percentage scale thing.
Well,
than
you brought up numbers.
Yeah, just for the example.
It's like, well, I'll say two admirals, and an emperor are equal. That's what I'll say. So 2 admirals, 1 emperor are equal. That's what I'll
How
say.
many First Commanders equal an Admiral? I'm trying to judge how far the gap is.
Yeah,
Christian. I'm not
it's such
interested in who beats who.
What kind of question is that? There are 4.
Because I want to
First
gauge
Commanders.
the distance
There
between.
are 4 first commanders. Now, if Luffy, Kid, Law, and Zoro beat Kaido, we could say 4. And Zoro, Law, Kid, questionable.
Somewhere in that commander thing.
Well, yeah.
Not even Zoro. He just has a magic
Yeah,
sword.
we'll just say, Zoro question mark.
Sure.
He has the beast slaying mystical sword. Basically has the master sword. Alright?
Yeah.
So, there you go. Now, we do have a man in the general.
Lurkin.
What's his name? Ty.
Lol.
Please
Questionable,
state your question in the general chat.
We will have a. We'll keep the trigger finger on him, Christian. Don't you worry about that.
It's a questionable name.
What's
but
the chat? What's the chat going on about, Christian?
We've been going for 45 minutes. I think that's
That's fair.
a fair shake. Dart and Abacture only wants to submit questions legitimately. So, we've got 45 minutes. We've had some good topics.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You want to give our man a shot? Just quick 5 minutes.
let's just move on. All right.
Tyler, you're in.
Oh,
Hello.
what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
We're pretty good.
What is your question,
Do you
sir?
have a topic?
I do. Well, I have 2. So, would you guys be more interested in some endgame things or some power level things?
We just talked about power level, so
Let's talk about
let's talk
Endgame.
about Endgame.
Why do you guys dislike the whole thought of Emu being like the main villain? Like, I feel like he got introduced at a time. It's not Naruto. It's not like he just stabbed someone in like Blackbeard in the back and it's like,
Okay,
hey,
yeah.
I'm Emu.
I think the main
But,
problem,
like, I just-
the main problem we have with Aimu is that it kind of devalues the admirals and the navy in a certain way, because you could say that why didn't Aimu just come out of Marineford and destroy Whitebeard if it was that much of an issue? Aimu being the big bad final villain, ultra powerful. We're talking Admiral Emperor plus guy. At the end of the
We've
series,
invested 10 years into Blackbeard.
I think Blackbeard deserves it more. He's got more to do with Luffy's story. He's got more to do with he's got personal attachments to the crew. But the main problem with Aimu I have is that if he's ultra powerful and insanely strong, it devalues the admirals too much to me, in my mind, for the Navy. It just
So
devalues
it's
them.
mainly just about the admirals for you, honestly, or is it like in a grand storytelling perspective, could Emu work out to you guys? Like, because I think he's gonna be the final villain, almost like 100% in my head canon. But is there a world where it's a good villain to you?
To me, it also muddies the message of power, because we see the celestial dragons and they don't deserve the power.
Here's the thing with Aimu. He could be a fantastic villain. He could be extremely powerful, great villain, great motivations, interesting backstory, connections to the ancient history, all this kind of stuff.
To me, he's the device that's the counter to Dragon's ideology. Right?
Yeah.
So he's going to explain why the world governments need
It's kind of like why it's hard for me to imagine why Luffy has the motivation to beat this guy. That's what's the hard for me to understand. You can understand Akainu. You can understand
sure.
Blackbeard. Blackbeard's
Right now, yeah.
yeah.
Unless
yeah.
Aimu reveals himself to the world. Because assumably he won't, and then Luffy will find him at the end of the story and fight him.
They'll find him in the secret chamber, and he'll come out and be like, "I'm the final villain. I'm the big guy." Like he would have to be exposed in a certain way so that characters understand who he is, and that he has a great backstory, has motivations.
Of course, there's always potential for this man to become a great villain,
Sure.
right? Now, if he is exposed, that might turn the world into chaos. The world government might split up, the Navy gets upset.
Yeah, if somehow Doflamingo exposes the secret, maybe that's maybe what he was talking about in Dressrosa.
I feel like for like the whole celestial dragons, undeserved power, the whole theme around that, the whole like political influence over the world.
Well, Aimu could be strong because he stole the power, so it still could fit in that theme. I feel like
he could be like a rock type figure.
Yeah,
like just usurp whatever power there is. Yeah.
Yeah, he stole the essence of the Ancient Kingdom. He stole the technology. He stole the devil fruit, whatever. There's still a possibility where he stole the power. That's why he's strong.
Yeah.
So I still think that could work. My problem with Aimu is I think Blackbeard is the perfect villain for Luffy. Same goal, same dream.
Similar personality.
I mean,
similar
I
drive.
agree, right?
Yeah.
I think he's definitely one. Like Jaya is one of my favorite arcs in the whole series. Trust me. Like I love all like the Blackbeard stuff. It's just like I feel like that's Blackbeard's his final like pirate villain. He becomes the pirate king, and then the world government. And then the world government is just the last thing in the way. And a lot of people will do the theory of he dies before he meets Shanks, or other way around. Shanks dies before they meet. I think it'll be more of like a dragon thing. He might not meet Dragon, and that'll really tick him off in a sense, you know. He doesn't get to learn about his mom, and at the end, all this stuff comes like into fruition.
The problem is like Luffy doesn't care about his parents. That's the real problem. And Luffy also doesn't care about flashbacks at all. So when he learns about the ancient history, I don't know why he cares. Like we look at it in
real quick too. Do you guys think Aimu is male, female, or like monster god?
Probably male.
Probably male, could be female, maybe alien craziness, but
like a sea god, right? He could be like the god of the sea, because like most of the world is water or whatever.
Yeah, the goddess of the sea, because the devil fruit law, whatever that means.
Yeah.
He could be a whole range of characters. He could be like a reincarnated Rocks, or he is Rocks.
Again, I feel like he's probably gonna be the device to explain ancient history and what happened.
Sure.
Because who else is gonna do that?
I feel like his value right now is gonna be like, I mean, obviously not if he becomes great, but like the value he has right now is his highest value, right? Because he's just providing that hype. Like in my head, I know we're in Wano right now, but I'm looking forward to that government stuff ever since Reverie.
Sure. The government stuff's gonna be huge, but I think that like it's hard for me to see like us really getting invested.
Oda needs to put in significant work.
Like Aimu can't be. He turns up in one panel at Reverie, and then he turns up again at the end, and he's the big bad. Like we need a lot more work, a lot more development on this character, secrets.
Yeah, we need to see snapshots of him like here and there, like in between arcs, like doing stuff.
If that's what it is, and that's what Oda does, it could work. But right now, there's so many mysteries. There's so many like unanswered questions. I just feel like Blackbeard right now is a way better villain for Luffy in the end game. But that's my opinion.
I mean, if you have time for that little power level question, if not, I get it.
Sure.
It depends how big the question is.
It's pretty small. It's basically just how do you guys think? Like I feel like a lot of people will say that the old admirals are far and away stronger than the new admirals, but like I have a lot of faith in someone like Fujitora or Green Bull. Like I don't think they're slouches in any way. I don't think we've seen even like 60% of Fujitora at Dressrosa. Like
well, people always bring this up as like the old admirals have grown over the time skip, therefore they're Admiral Plus.
To me, it's literally just a Navy agenda because of Fujitora versus Luffy.
Yeah.
That's basically all it is.
And like Fujitora couldn't cut the birdcage. He did nothing against Doflamingo.
Oh, he definitely could have got that if he wanted to.
Yeah, I know, but the plot, he didn't.
And the whole Luffy fight, he got pushed back by Gear 3. All this stuff, he got Zoro blocked him or whatever.
Yeah, it's Navy agenda.
It's basically a safeguard to protect the Admiral as a whole strength.
But we can't forget that Marco kicked back Kizaru and overpowered him in Marineford.
Oh no! Yeah. Not that freaking example, please.
You can't forget that. I'm not saying Marco's as strong or stronger than Kizaru, because that would be lunacy, absolute craziness.
Thank you.
But I'm just comparing that to Fujitora versus Luffy. It's kind of the same thing.
It just seems like we can't take some. That's just the problem with One Piece is you can't take everything you see seriously, and then you can with some things. It's weird. It's
It depends.
They have to yeah. I don't know. They have to state it.
All right. Here's I get why maybe Alkeunu's stronger because he's the Fleet Admiral. He had a high diff fight with Kuzan, but like, who's left? We got Kizaru and Sakazuki. Then we got 2 new admirals, and if they're not as strong as the old admirals, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, I expect someone like Fuji and Greenbull to be just as, if not slightly above, someone like maybe not Aokiji Akainu, but at least right there with Kizaru.
Yeah,
and I think Kizaru's a lot stronger than people give him credit for.
Yeah. We give Fujitora heaps of credit here. The Raging Tiger, warping reality. He picks up
rubber.
He picks up the entirety of Dressrosa.
Selective picks up.
Selective gravity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going with Fujitora, right?
Fujitora's powerful.
Anyway, we appreciate the questions.
Right, we appreciate it.
Absolutely, you guys are awesome. Keep it up.
No
Cheers,
worries,
man.
dude. All right.
Fujitora always get the short end of the stick, Christian.
I meme about this all the time, that Kizaru is the only actual Admiral level character.
Yeah.
As in, Fujitora and Greenbull are lower than Admiral, and Alkeuну and Aokiji are Admiral plus. And Kizaru is the only actual Admiral level character. But there's the call-in show. We thank the people for calling in with their topics, with their discussion. We're moving on to How Strong is Shanks? How strong is Shanks? Every week, we come to you with the question of, how strong is Shanks? And every week, we answer. Shanks is the strongest. Shanks is the God King. But there are people out there who think Kara is the strongest. Who think Drag is the strongest. Who think sweatiest man on the planet, Alkeunu's is the strongest.
Sweaty.
Who think Mihawk's the strongest. And, worst of them all, who think Armor's the strongest. We just talked about it. And every week we bring 100% genuine, factual information to the table. Prove these people wrong. This week's evidence is Shanks is so strong that he has stopped the end of the universe multiple times. He did it so fast that nobody realized that it was happening. And he doesn't tell anyone because the God King is humble and gracious. Alright? He is a benevolent ruler. He doesn't ask for payment. He doesn't ask for anything. Alright? Shanks is the strongest. Shanks is the God King. Now moving on. Topic of the show. Side characters are powerful. Alright? Now, we'll get into the writing techniques of side characters.
Okay.
Very important to any series. The side characters sometimes make the series. Now, any show has
What
the
put
main
this
character.
topic on, Christian? What inspired
Well,
you?
I'm thinking about Apu. I'm thinking about Kid.
Right.
I'm thinking about these side characters.
Think about Drake.
I'm thinking about Drake. I'm thinking about all this. I'm thinking about all these side characters. I'm thinking about Mihawk. I'm thinking about, Shanks for the time being is kind of side character, Not really in the story. Will turn up be a main character, right? Will be a main character,
You gotta be careful.
right? We're talking about, admirals, side characters basically, because they're on their arcs, whatever. But every series has their main cast, all right? And the main cast has to be nurtured, has to grow slow, has to have character motivation, has to do all these things for people to attach themselves to. They have to be complete characters.
Growth in skill and
You have to
intellect.
understand them. You have to know their intent. You have to know everything. A lot of time is spent with the main characters. That's why people love them. All right. The main characters are the foundations. All right, to a great story. Also the world and all that kind of stuff. But the side characters are so powerful because they can turn up out of nowhere. Their power level is always a question mark. All right. They can do hype shit and then just leave the plot.
Already concluded their ideology is complete.
Sure. We don't need to know their ideology even.
Yeah.
They can just turn up, do something hype and leave. The side characters are the spice. They're the decoration to the house. They're the furniture, the spice. They make the house interesting. They make the house good to look at, alright? You look at any series, look at One Piece. You got Mihawk, the ultimate side character. Turns up in Baratier, opens up the scope, shows us hype, alright?
One of the most
Leaves the
important.
plot. Just leaves.
One of the most important moments in One Piece history.
One of the most important moments in One Piece history. Leaves the plot, you don't see him for like 300 chapters. Comes back in Marineford, does hype
Not
shit.
quite 300 chapters. He talks to Shanks.
Well, he talks to Shanks, and then you don't see him for 300 chapters.
Also hype moment for Shanks.
Just hype, alright? You look at Aokiji in Long Ring Wrong Land. Turns up, does something hype, disappears.
Do you think the teasing has a limit, though? Do people become impatient?
Sure. The teasing does have a limit, but the excitement from the side characters really helps to spice up arcs. We see it Fujitora in Dressrosa, Zabo in Dressrosa. These kind of side characters spice up the arc, add hype where the main characters can't really, like at the start of a series, you can't really have your main characters do crazy shit.
You're gonna ramp it up.
You gotta ramp it up slowly over time so it feels earned, it feels well received. But the side characters are so freeing for any writer. Because you can show the end game within the side characters. You can show glimpses of the future
What's to come?
for the main characters. You can show insane powers that would break the series if in the hands of the main characters. It's a freeing thing. Look at Naruto. You got side characters like the senseis. Sure, they get their moments. They're powerful characters. They turn up in part 1 to do crazy shit. They disappear to let the kids do their work, and then Shippuden they get their moments. You know, Asha or whatever. You know, even the other kids like Gaara and his brother and sister, they turn up, do crazy shit. They're crazy powerful, and then they leave.
Would you define Neji as a main cast or a side character?
No, I would say
Or is he a
Neji's
rival? What's going on there? 'Cause I feel
Neji's
like
barely in the
he's a
plot.
hype master.
Exactly. Why is he a hype master? Not part of the main crew. We got Naruto, we got Sakura, we got Sasuke in part 1. You could say, right? Then you've got Rock Lee, hype master in Chunin Exam Tournament. Who's the hype master? Rock Lee. This guy comes out of nowhere,
He's kind of shitty.
kind of shitty, pulls it out, hype as fuck. All right, because
Does he beat Gaara or does Gaara
he
beat
still
him?
loses, but it's hype as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, Gaara
'Cause
wins.
He has a sand arm or whatever.
Yeah, the Sadam, which is
All right.
all right.
Much like the candy armor.
Much like, okay. But the side characters are massively important to any series. Any shonen series, especially. You need the hype.
The
Go ahead,
good
Noah.
part about that hype piece from Rock Lee is Gaara was portrayed
As the strongest.
And we were told by all the teachers and shit
He's
that
the
he's a hype,
strongest.
hype king.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this piece of shit that can't do anything comes in
Kind of beats him.
and kind of pulls it out.
Yeah.
What are we talking about with these side characters? Because what do you want to say?
Because we look at the Wano War right now. Basically, Kid's been a side character since his introduction.
Yeah.
The reason why Oda's the king of side characters. Massive world, a lot of side characters.
So many.
And what it does is it gets the audience to fill in the gaps, fill in the speculation, their backstory, their motivation, their power level. Gets the audience to fill it in. So it's audience engagement. People get attached to these characters because they don't see them that often. And they think what this character could be, what this character could be about.
Kano's the main villain, still not in the plot really.
Yeah. So we look at it now, and we're finally finding out what Kid can do, what Apu can do, and people lost it last week because Apu cut Zoro-kun, right? Zolo, as many in people's minds. And Apu's been this side character. No one, he's not the best example because no one really cares about him.
Alright.
But you can say the Kid agenda is real. People love Kid. He's done nothing in the plot. It's all hearsay, whatever. But people love him because he's got a cool design. He does cool stuff with his mental powers.
Sure.
He's kind of that equal to Luffy power level, whatever you want to say there. So the side characters.
Talk to me about side character blow. Talk to me about the whole Dressrosa Coliseum.
Well, was the juice worth the squeeze at that moment? Because we're at the Grand Fleet. Is Bellamy really important?
What about even now? We got Kinemon's wife. We got Tama, Toko, Yasu. What do we think about?
Well, I'm more talking about sometimes it goes too far.
What do you think about a favorite ninja, Christian?
Shinobu.
Yeah. Purpose of these side characters, because we talk about hype and showing glimpses.
Yeah.
Are these side characters to enhance the emotional plot of the arc?
Sure, but it didn't work, so that's the problem.
Yeah, it works in other arcs.
Sure.
Shout out to Koza, I guess.
Shout out to Koza, most important rebel in Alabasta.
You bring in these. You almost put them in a separate category of
the hype
specific side characters.
Yeah, like the companion. They're like companions.
Side characters.
They're like representatives of the nation.
Yeah.
Kind of characters. Like you got Kiros, Rebecca, you got Yukoza, you got your Skype here. What's his name? Gonfold and the kid. Can't remember the kid's name. But they're there for arc flavor. They're there for cultural, how the island works. All that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Perspective. So
you're talking specifically about grand plot side characters.
Well, I'm just saying, in any story, it's massively important to have these high beasts that turn up here or there, that are part of the plot to disappear.
The Mountain, the Hound.
Look at Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Gandalf, high beast, a wizard of ultimate power, disappears, comes back into plot. I'm back. I'm here. I'm turned around. Resurrected.
I'm white as shit.
I'm fucking a massive destruction power. Sword. Exactly. He turns up as the High Beast. He saves the crew, returns as the High Beast. Disappears. For a couple hours. Comes back, So every series, if you're doing a series, if you're writing something, always have
Are the Hype Man in Berserk?
Yes.
Talk to me about the
you got Skull Knight. The High Beast. You got what's his name? Fuck. How do I forget? Zod. High Beast. First couple chapters he appears. Giving you the scope.
What do you call Griffith?
He's the big villain. Yeah. He's the big bad. The big overarching villain.
Is he a High Beast though?
Yeah. I guess. He's one of the ultimate demons. Spoilers, I guess. But every story has these characters. These characters that turn up for the crew, tell them something, show them the way, do something hyped and disappear.
Do we as anime fans need the hype man? And fantasy fans?
You always need the hype man.
I'm trying to think of not fantasy.
Sci-fi, maybe.
And sci-fi. Maybe you look at a crime movie.
Yeah.
Who's the hype man in that? Or is it more of an intellectual hype man?
We're talking about Shonen though. Sure. We're talking about fantasy Shonen.
You talk about Lord of the Rings as well, and
yeah,
Yoda and Star Wars.
And Yoda's more.
You always have the hype man, the old masters.
The old master characters. You have the hype weapons. I'm
trying to think about grounded shows.
Yeah.
Do they have the hype pieces and the hype men? They always have the villains, which I guess are
yeah,
the hype men.
Sure, but yeah, I think it's just important to really just notice what One Piece does extremely well.
Silver's just chilling in the chat.
Maybe wants to jump in. Who knows? For the Thunderdome, maybe. But yeah. Side characters, Oda does side characters Like, that's one of his major strengths.
Do you think you have to introduce... How early do you introduce the hype man if you're going to go for the long play? We look at something like... something with a short run. Do they have time to do the hype man? How long do you milk the hype and the side characters? What do you think about that?
It's a hard question to answer because, like, it depends what you're trying to do, really. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of Korean, like, webcomics don't have this, and the main character is overpowered.
Look at something like Dr. Stone, right?
Yeah.
You got the hype man some second chapter.
Sure. The kind of villain, though, but he disappears, he comes back, yeah.
Yeah, you got people with individual skills and stuff.
Yeah. So...
Is that over? Is Dr. Stone over?
No, it's still gone.
But, going in that mode? What's going on with that?
Who knows what's going on with Dr. Stone. But you always... Like, look at Barky.
Oh, the hype kings.
Hype Masters...
Barky is overpowered, though.
Yeah, but he never gets to fight. So that's the compromise, right? Alright. So yeah, Silver's rejected us, so there you go. Thanks. Come on, Silver's. Alright, come on. Alright.
Silver's not a hype man to this
show.
Now is Dritz the grand villain of the Red Force podcast?
Dritz is the grand villain of the Red Force podcast. Right. And that's
the hype man, we're talking about Key Lighting.
Key Lighting.
They come in, they come out.
Sure. I think King of Lighting's our hype man. Just turns up, screws about an owl.
And Crocodile.
The Crocodile that dips.
Your Crocodile agenda's getting strong. It needs to be squashed.
Alright, so that's the topic of the show. Just want to bring the positivity.
Think about...
Alright?
You know, we bring some kind of rudimentary knowledge to the show, Christian. It's not just about power scaling.
Yeah.
Many people in various chat, they said they like the show because it's a bit more in-depth look into the industry and things like that. So maybe we do more of that at some point.
Okay.
When we rant about paneling and get mad and...
Yeah. But there you go. That's the topic of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to say something that Oda does extremely well. Mm-hmm. And we don't... A lot of people talking negative about One Piece right now. Let's just bring some positivity, alright? Because I'm sick of the noise, alright? You're gonna have some balance, alright? Now moving on, of course, to the Thunderdome.
Where we at?
Thunderdome. We're here in the Thunderdome. We have from the legendary Jordan Lee.
The man comes again.
The man comes again. He has for us Rob Lucci versus Ace.
Did we not do this already?
No, we did Rob Lucci versus...
Why did you not
Drake?
Why did you not pick Garb Kuruma? Too complex.
Well, they're in separate categories.
Right.
Rob Lucci
and Ace.
In the low high tier, of course.
Rob Lucci's always difficult because of question marks.
But he does have extreme haki. He does fight Zabo in movies. By fight, I mean one clash.
Yes.
Per movie.
That's true.
At some point, we'll get the entire fight via movies.
Clips.
One clip at a time.
Yeah.
So, Rob Lucci is written up again. His pros, his cons. We'll just go through it. Pros for Lucci. Better physical feats in all arenas than Ace. Blackbeard almost broke Ace's neck. Majeld stopped him easily using hand-to-hand. Did he say that for Blackbeard? I think he said that for Blackbeard. Right. Physical prowess seems to be an issue for Ace against people above mid-tier. Most zones, especially CP9, are high tiers in physical power. Haki converged for Lucci. Ace haki is non-existent or low tier. The Ace haki thing is...
People say he uses haki in the novels. Is that true?
He awakens haki. We already talked about this. You just blocked it out, didn't you? You blocked out the Ace novel. I told you he awoken...
No, I know he awoken something, Christian.
He awoke haki.
Yes, but...
The stage 1 invisible barrier haki.
Yes.
Invisible haki, whatever the fuck that means.
What about observation? Any hint there?
No idea.
We know he has
so
conquerors.
Far, so we're not, right?
We know he's got conquerors.
We know he's got conquerors for sure.
Yes.
So, the Ace haki thing...
Now, confusion about the villain who's trying to cut Ace, but doesn't have Haki, seemingly.
Yeah, don't worry about the Ace novel, right?
Yeah.
Speed and mobility is not even a contest as well. Ace lacks observation Haki
There's something.
will be fatal. It's hard. Does Ace have Haki? Have great Haki? Have enough Haki to deal with Rob Lucci? That's going to be the main question here. Using lateral scaling, Lucci should be close to Luffy and is part of the CP0. Luffy is currently stronger than Ace, and CP0 top members should be commander level. See, we lowballed Lucci because we have no idea on the power scale. We lowballed him conservative guess for where Rob Lucci would be.
Yes.
Because CP0, time skip, how strong could he be, his ambition to be strong, he's lost to Luffy, all that kind of stuff.
Again, how much does fire do in One Piece?
Good question. Full body Haki, Rob Lucci possible.
Cook's Blackbeard, he feels the pain.
He does. Blackbeard does double pain though, so what's going on there, you know? A lot of questions.
You know, a lot of people still don't know that he takes double pain.
It's only one of the only things we know about Blackbeard.
Yeah.
You know? Alright. Ace was not even the true second commander and got the spot out of pity.
That's spin.
That's
straight up spin.
That's straight up opinion, alright? We need the straight facts. Alright, we don't need opinion. Alright. Pros for Ace. Unique form of damage in burning. Can Haki protect Sledge versus burns? It kind of implies yes in the Ace novel. You know? What does that actually mean? Is that canon?
It always, the question about, is Haki affected by temperature? Does it negate temperature?
Yeah.
A lot of questions there, Christian.
More DC, but I think Lucci can survive at Entei or Heiken due to the Zoan thickness. Haki and perhaps even Awakening gets access to faster regen.
Don't
That's
give
true.
Rob Lucci Awakening.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little shaky. This is supposed to be Pro's phase.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be this man
Dishing out abilities.
Okay. This is supposed to be Pro for Ace.
Shout out to, people just thinking that Zoan Awakening is not what it is.
All of Ace's other attacks I don't think will damage Luffy that much. Overall, neither fighter will take a W in this series, but show enough. Lucci wins for me, high diff. It all comes down to time skip power-ups, but for me, Ace really was not impressive really wasn't impressive at Marineford, and now he's given Haki all this kind of
Does
shit.
Blackbeard beat Rob Lucci when he fought Ace?
What kind of fucking question is that?
Because you can do some math about it. Because people chump Ace for losing to Blackbeard. Blackbeard no joke, though. People don't.
Blackbeard no joke when he fought Ace.
People don't give Blackbeard the credit.
Sure.
I feel like people lowball Blackbeard at that point.
Okay.
Physical power unlock for Blackbeard.
It's hard for Ace because he's plagued by pre-time skip problems. He's a character out of the series.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get some sauce in the Wano flashback. You know, who knows?
I'm sure he'll get more souls as the time goes on.
You know, the Ace novel.
But again, how much damage does the fire do? Inconclusive.
He fought 5 days with Jinbei.
Yes.
You can't forget that.
Stamina. Jordan Lee questioning Ace's stamina.
I'm saying we can't forget. Say what you want about Jinbei. Haki Master water powers. Ace surviving for 5 days. So, he's got the stamina. You would assume why Jinbei's at his prime at this point. It's only 5 years ago. Jinbei's 40.
Could have learned more.
Could learn a little bit more. But he's in the new world. He's here, he's fucking around with Whitebeard. So, strong, still strong in the post-time skip. In the post-Luffy era. When he fought Ace. So, the problem is, you would assume Rob Lucci would be that commander level. That true commander level. Was Ace at that point. I feel like...
Who do you want to give it to?
I feel like I want to give it to Rob Lucci just because of the hockey and the Rakugan. You know.
Sure. What about that Monkey D spirit, though?
That
That-
Roger spirit.
What about that
D spirit.
brother spirit? That infinite will? Does Rob Lucci have the infinite will? Does he have what it takes?
He has the killing intent.
He does have the killing intent.
Alright, he doesn't have the killing intent.
As you all know from the Carnivorous Zones, we shouldn't have killing intent.
Killing intent's on lock. Alright, so I'm gonna have to give this. I'll have to give this one to Rob Lucci.
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust is a stat,
Mm-hmm.
and Rob Lucci has it. So we're gonna have to give this one to Rob Lucci.
Rob Lucci.
It's kind of hard because Ace kind of gets gimped by the post time skip, and Rob Lucci don't really know much about his powers. But we can assume he's raised in the ranks. He's commander level. He's a top dog in the CP0.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. All right, we'll get to that.
We got a dino question.
We'll get to that soon in the question
Corner.
corner, which is coming up right now.
All right.
Question corner. Not that one.
Jesus, you just ended the show.
No, we're not Jordan.
Now, we're in the dinos. Shadows.
Dino rating
Page 1. Ask us to rank the Tobiroko.
of personality.
Yeah.
Love the vids. Okay.
Ulti last.
Eric dislikes the meme of Ulti.
Oh my god.
What's the meme with Ulti?
She's
Sassy.
she's sassy behind Kato's back, but tries to put on a good face in front of Kato, but then it slips.
Yeah.
Who's who? Cocky, aggressive.
Same with Sasuke though. Sasuke, you'd say more.
Sasuke's more chill about.
No, I think he's also equally as aggressive because he's like, "Oh, Kuba, these fucks. I want to drink with Kato-san."
But yeah, but like, who's who? Aggressively cocky.
I mean, page 1. This man's name, also the main character.
He's looking a bit sad at the moment.
Looking a bit sad. Looking a bit. He's getting memed. He's kind of the meme of the group.
Black Maria's whatever.
Black Maria's just hanging around. So we're gonna have to go. I want to say this one.
Rank him top to bottom.
In personality.
Yeah.
From the best personality. I mean, we'll give it to Sasuke. You know, he's got more lines. He's got a bit of more personality at this point. Then we'll give it to who's who. Then we'll give it to Black
I
Maria.
bet you Heavy's favorite character is Ulti, by the way.
No doubt.
Guaranteed.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But you know, Black Maria because she's kind of neutral.
Yeah.
And then you got Paige 1, then you got Ulti.
What'd you say about Drake?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Drake. We don't really include Drake because we know he's gonna betray.
He's
you know
cool.
what I mean?
He's calm. He doesn't really have any.
We'll put Drake. I mean, we'll put Drake in the middle because we know he's gonna betray.
Mhm.
Like,
Will the Navy turn up? The gears have to start turning at some point.
I mean, the gears have already turned enough.
Sure.
Right? We got one mention of Shanks. He turns up and ready for it. Right?
We got the ship. We got the report.
We got plenty of stuff. All right. All right. Moving on to the questions. You can write into the question corner via various means.
Yep.
Probably the easiest one is the community tab on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Then Discord, then the comment section.
The Heavy says I'm wrong. Is it Black Maria for the raw sexual energy?
Interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She'll probably get.
All right. From Damioru. How cool would it be to see a Rio infused Jet Gatling? Pretty cool. All right. Pretty cool. All right. A Rio infused Gom Storm in Wano, please.
Go
PS.
Storm.
Shanks is the strongest. A Ryu infused.
Fan of the old moves.
Of course, who could forget?
Unlock.
Right.
Bush has got it.
Goes
The
for
Heavy
ages.
confirms yes, Black Mirror is the favorite because of the raw sexual energy, and we have page 1 donating again.
Okay.
No, $2 Canadian.
That's $2
actually.
Canadian dollars. Alright.
Zoro or Sanji? Brooke or Frankie?
Alright, first one, Zoro or Sanji? Give it to my boy Zoro. Is that a do you prefer them? Is that a power thing? We'll give it to Zoro.
Yeah, okay.
How can you not?
Now, the Brooke and Frankie's more difficult because we remember the Soul King, the hype speech to Big Mom.
I'll give it to Brooke right now just because of whole cake.
Shout out to Frankie though.
Shout out to Frankie.
Iron Boxing, Senior Pink. We'll have that drink. How can you forget?
Exactly.
What are you crying about, brother?
But recently, I would say Brooke.
I'm gonna give it to Frankie.
You're gonna give it to Frankie? Okay, that's fair enough. Also, yeah, we'll give it to Zoro because Zolo is the high beast, and Sanji's cool, you know. But he's got his annoying moments. Yeah.
Whole cake Island.
Moving on to Hippo. Who can you see in the middle trio, Brooke, Robert, or Frankie, going up against this battle? Are they ready to take on member of the Toby Robo?
I'd say Brooke would have the most difficult time because his new ability isn't a damaging ability.
The Soul King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confident with Frankie. More than confident enough with Frankie.
Well, Robin.
The Haki question is still brutal.
She called Hakuba.
I know, but what the damage? I'm talking about damage.
Your giant attacks.
Does she have the damage? Does she have the stamina?
To me, Kid's giant attacks and Robin's giant attacks look equal.
Sure, but what about the... Has Robin been damaged before?
Well, the fucking...
I can't remember.
Dressrosa.
Sure, but that's not really a fight, you know?
Yeah.
She fought Yama. She didn't really get hit.
She gets damaged against Crocodile. Crocodile slaps her around
The
a little
girls
bit.
don't really take damage.
No. I'm going to say Robin and Frankie, yes. Brooke's a little more hard. Brooke's a little harder.
Brooke needs to pull out
But
something.
it depends
to
how
do
strong
damage.
these flying six are. Are they Oven, Daifuku level?
I still think people lowball Frankie.
Yeah.
He's got some stuff going on.
Now,
Technology is a real thing in One Piece, and Frankie is a tech
he's
man.
got the Shogun on lock. He's in the battle right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay, I guess that's that question. All right. So,
Got another $2 for page one.
on page one.
Just dropping money.
Page one just dropping cash.
Do you think Zebek will return in some way? Or is
My
he just a
personal
character?
personal theory I'm rooting for is that Blackbeard has somehow been possessed by Zebek. Therefore, two devil fruits. The two soul fucking
kinda
two
lame,
personality thing. It could work. The curse,
I think he's just gonna be a legacy character that Big Mom and Carter bond off.
I think there's something to.
Maybe Garb, we get that.
Yeah.
All Garb stuff.
I think there's something to Blackbeard's
Zebek's
knowledge.
an interesting character because it works with Whitebeard, Big Mom, Carter, and it also works with Garp and Roger and their history together.
I think there's something going on there.
God Valley as well, which people expect to be an arc now, Christian, as you know.
By people, do you mean King Lindy?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on from Joshua. Oda has said he wants to make another short series after One Piece is done. Do you think this will still be the case? Or will he just retire and maybe be a writing consultant in some OP spin-off banger? I think he said he wanted to do sci-fi next. Because he's a big Star Wars fan. Yeah, look, Kishimoto came back for something.
Bad.
Kubo's come back for Burn the Witch.
What is this? What are we talking
It's
about?
a kind of like a Bleach spin-off, which is kind of like Bleach in Europe, with like witches and shit. Yeah.
Is it in the Bleach universe?
Yes.
Okay.
Confirmed the Bleach universe. But like different countries had different afterlives or some shit. Whatever.
Okay, Kishi.
Or you know, Kubo.
Okay, Kubo, just make it a new thing, you know?
No, we need the Bleach license to make it popular, you know.
Okay.
Right. From Mantag Atoll, Firefox Kinemon versus Sweaty's Man on the planet Alkainu. Does Kinemon win because he can cut fire and explosions? Combined with his 900 plus IQ, is Kinemon low-key an Admiral level character?
That IQ is pretty high.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to say no.
Page one again with the $2.
Page one, go crazy.
Who's who? How strong is who's who?
How strong is who's who? Not Commander level.
Sanji level.
Don't say Sanji level.
Zoro level.
He is that veteran pirate level.
That means equally is nothing.
Daifuku, Perospero.
Yeah, Sanji Zoro level.
Okay, fine. Sanji Zoro level. But people don't recognize that because they think Zoro and Sanji are commander level.
If they don't fight commanders, 1-on-1.
Yeah.
What do we do? Do we take a lap of victory?
We're just right, and we can play play the clips. We're right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. From Fazal Afridi. I would really like to see Garp or any important Marine see a Tenrid Brito with a child slave and give their take on it. How would they justify working for them? They are always absent when they do their fucked up shit. Even Fujitora is butthurt about the wall system when the Tenrid Brito system is even more faked.
True.
But we never see them in that kind of position, and it annoys the shit out of me.
Well, we kind of do when we see Stelly and Garp.
We see it a little bit of Reverie. There's a little bit of hint there.
Garp's like, those pieces of shit.
Yeah.
It's just why it's assumed that they must serve the Celestial Dragons, but it seems like the Navy. I feel like the good Navy guys, or why people join the Navy, is because they think pirates are worse, and they're like to protect the people, we have to take part in this system.
Sure.
But I think Garp will be the catalyst. Maybe Kobe as well. Kobe, Smoker, Fujitora. We'll get there. I think we'll get there in time.
We'll get there in time. But
Good Dragon as well. He might have been a Marine.
it's kind of like, well,
Do you think that conversation between Garp and Dragon ever happened, and will we ever see it? Because I think it's very unlikely.
It's unlikely, but it's important to Dragon if Dragon's going to be like the new king.
That shit never happens in One Piece, though.
I know.
Like, philosophical debates between not the main characters, even philosophical debates, rarely happen.
They happen, though. They've happened.
Sure, but it's more of a meta... It's more of a simile metaphor kind of thing where, like...
There'll be something in the God Valley.
No one debates politics in One Piece actively.
There'll be something in the God Valley flashback about the Celestial Dragon, protecting the Celestial Dragons, whatever that means.
Alright. Page 1 again with the 2 hours.
Page 1.
Rank the Supernova.
I'm guessing this is in terms of what we like. Number, the worst one is Apu.
We're going to start from the bottom?
Yeah, start from the bottom. Apu. Then in Rouge,
Drake and Rouge are kind of interchangeable for me,
Okay.
Bonnie's whatever. Bonnie's interesting in the Reverie at least.
Alright. Bonnie.
So, Apu.
Rouge.
Drake.
I'm not putting Drake that low.
Do you care?
His sword, it's interesting, alright?
But like then you got we were talking about Hawkins and
Capone and
Killer. Rouge Killer.
You can't forget about Killer. Alright.
A Rouge Killer Bonnie Drake.
Wait. Apu.
Yeah.
A Rouge.
Yeah.
Killer. Drake. Is Bonnie above Drake?
Yeah, it's more interesting with Kurama and stuff.
Alright, Capone.
Yes.
Hawkins.
Hawkins above Kid.
So Kid.
Hawkins.
Zoro, Luffy.
There you go.
There it is. Alright, and we do have another donation.
Don Island. Yamato thoughts. He'll aid Kaido in his fall. Will he aid Kaido? Will
it depends on the relationships there. Is it a meme? Do they hate each other?
Yeah. How old is he?
What's the
point?
How strong is he?
What's the purpose?
Yeah. He could be a very powerful ally for the Alliance.
Silvers, we had Capone in there.
We said Capone.
Where did we put Capone?
He was above
Bonnie. He was above Bonnie.
Above Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yamato, interesting character. Still a lot of questions. I think it's possible he aids us in Kaido's defeat. Maybe he knows some secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's that strong, that powerful, can help in the fight. Maybe he doesn't like his father for certain reasons, what he did to Wano. Who knows? All right.
Maybe
we did forget Law.
Maybe that says something.
So we'll put Law between Zoro and Kid.
Silver didn't bring up Law.
We'll put Law between Zoro and Kid. I think that's fair.
Hawkins.
Well,
Hawkins was above Kid.
All right, a rouge.
No, a pearl.
A rouge.
Yeah.
What was it? It was Eric
Killer.
says Killer. Then Drake,
Bonnie.
Capone, Kid, Law, Hawkins, Zoro, Luffy.
There you go.
There you go. There's the full ranking, all right?
Yeah, Yamato potential, all right?
Yamato has more potential.
It's very confusing on what the purpose
Yes.
is at the moment. Because, you know, the whole... It could make more sense with the whole... his expectations and the whole expectations of
All right.
Momonosuke and shit
From
like that.
Jordan Lee, how could one get Sanji reinstalled to the Thunderdome? If he raises up in the Thunderdome,
Possible this arc.
we'll reshuffle the Thunderdome at the end of Wano.
At the end of Wano, we have to redo the power scale.
So yeah, at the end of Wano, the power scale will be reshuffled.
Yes.
Right?
Now, another page one question, Christian. For
Which one's going in? Yeah.
Who's your favorite right-hand man?
Ben Beckman.
Talk about Van Beckman, talk about Zoro. That's about it. Katakuri hype.
Katakuri hype. Can't forget about Ben Beckman. Is Katakuri really a right-hand man?
Yes, he's the right-hand man.
Is it Perispero? He's the first commander. But is he a right-hand man?
Of course, yeah, it's Ben Beckman.
This is Ben Beckman. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we got another donation here from Sad Nafda.
Alright.
Mad Duff. Whatever.
All the donos today.
$5. I
Yeah.
feel like Kishimoto underrealized. What am I reading here? Underutilized Kimimaru.
Alright.
Do you think he'll make a comeback before Laugh Tale? Before what? Before Laugh Tale. Where's the bone fruit in the New World?
I think there's multiple questions
There's a
there.
lot of things going on here. I feel Kishimoto underutilized Kimimaru. Which one is he again?
Is he the dog guy?
I think so.
I think he's the dog guy. Yeah, he wasn't. He's one of the cooler characters in part 1. It's a meme. All right, I can't.
Where's the bone fruit in the New World? Is that the Bone Man? Is he talking about in the room?
Oh, that fucking
Yes.
that one villain.
That throw off one villain man.
That villain that's not even the villain of the arc.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. Wasn't he
He was
fucking
a Orochimaru experiment. Yeah.
Body that failed kind of thing.
Yeah, he's kind of like
Wasn't he like the body that Orochimaru was going to use, but the experiment failed?
whatever. I can't fucking remember what was going on with that
Yeah.
shit. All right. Interesting question. All right, a lot of questions going on. You know, the bone fruit, laugh. It's a meme question. All right.
All right.
Moving on.
We just appreciate the $5.
We appreciate the $5, no doubt. All right. Dart, do you guys think your views and opinions on stuff is very narrow-minded due to the lack of anime/manga you're into?
No, we're not influenced by cliche and other series.
I think there's a misconception or you know, a fallacy that you know more because you consume more media.
Yes. The reason why, like
we don't pretend
we don't read
that we know everything about every anime. We know about One Piece. We know about Dragon Ball.
we know about the mechanics, which I argue more importantly.
We know about JoJo, and we know about a little bit of Naruto. We can't. I fucking forget about Naruto a lot. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been years. All right.
It has been a long time.
It's been a long time. All right. So that's what we know about. We're not
So,
saying we're
animes, JoJo.
we don't have a general anime YouTube channel. We're here to talk about One Piece and our insights on the series, and you know, from our perspective.
You know, professionals here, Christian.
So I'm gonna say no to that. All right. From Lord Zarkon, if you had the time, is there any anime or manga you would like to try? Also, if you had the time, is there any hobby you would like to try?
I feel like
Anime.
as artists we don't have hobbies. It's just
Yeah,
our
it's just
life.
what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But anime and manga, I want to try.
I try, like, contrary to beliefs, Christian, I try things and then throw them out very early.
Sure.
All right.
All right. We're talking about My Hero. We're talking about
My Hero.
Berserk.
We're talking about Berserk.
Now, I've read 150 chapters of Berserk. I'll get back to it.
Why'd you fall off?
I go in and go out because it's a lot.
Right.
There's a lot going on there. All right, you can't really.
Hippie saying Ruby, absolutely not.
Like, we tried Ruby, not happening. All right.
Silver showed me a non-consequential episode that he thought was hype.
Yeah.
It's confusing. Now, yeah, I don't know what I want to try, man. I feel like if I consume too much shit,
Yeah.
it's gonna influence ideas that I don't want to be influenced by.
Okay.
I want to have raw things
Coming from the mind.
that come from the mind. I don't want to be like, oh, that thing happened in fucking Demon Slayer. I want to do that, you know? Especially when it comes down to animation.
Sure.
I just want to look at things and then copy them.
You want to look.
I want to do it for
look at-
myself.
yeah.
Just come up with your own style. You're not influenced by too many things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's that question. All right.
Page 1 asks another question, Christian. Rank the Emperors, $2. Shanks number 1.
Shanks number 1. I'll give it to Blackbeard second because he's,
Kaido Big Mom.
Big Mom Kaido, because Kaido hasn't fucking done anything, alright?
I kind of like Kaido the last few chapters.
Okay.
He's kind of getting a little bit more personality.
I mean, the fucking amnesia thing really hurt Big Mom.
We're talking about, I should be talking about favorites, not power.
You can't forget about that Luffy, though.
He's the 5th Emperor.
The 5th Emperor, alright?
So Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard.
Sure. Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard,
Big Mom Kaido.
Big Mom Kaido. Or Kaido Big Mom, because the amnesia shit pissed me off.
Shiki last.
Shiki is a meme.
Whitebeard above.
I mean, the
Blackbeard.
current emperors, all the emperors of all time,
Dude, can we talk about, what about Roger? Do you have enough on Roger? I guess the Pirate King,
I guess the current ones. We'll do
Sure.
the current ones.
Alright.
All right. From Jordan Lee. I started reading Shadow Soul casually. How big does the world get and how many chapters total? Second question, impossible answer. How many chapters?
What are you envisioning, Christian? What do you think?
If I could,
Infinite.
of course.
Do you have any plans to end it? Are there plans? Is it like Oda? Do you have the ending in mind?
I have the ending in mind.
How long?
It'll take a long time. All right? A very long time.
Are we talking 1,000 chapters? Are we talking 500? Talking 300? Talking. What percentage?
Depends.
What percentage are you sure?
I have two endings in mind.
2 endings.
The first ending and then the extra ending. And the extra ending doubles the series in length.
Okay.
If I will ever go there. Alright? So there's 2 endings in mind. There's the first ending and then the ultra ending. All right?
Ultra Instinct ending.
The ultra ending, which is, universe level shit. But
What if people use this as quotes, Christian? Down the track.
yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's, who knows, alright? How big does the world... What's the question?
How long and how big?
How big does the world get? The world gets big. It starts off
Is it a
small.
global affair, Christian?
It's a global affair.
Is it a multiplanetary affair?
No,
Global affair.
global affair
Okay.
for now.
Is it a Neptune-sized planet?
It's a planet.
It's a
alright?
planet.
It's a planet.
Okay.
Alright, we're not talking about the size of the planet or that kind of bullshit.
Now, Silver says that Christian tried Ruby. Eric just crapped on it. Silvers, you sent me an episode. I watched an episode. It was shit.
Look, I know Eric very well. He is definitely not gonna like Ruby.
Oh my god. I saw an episode. Silver's like, watch this episode, it's hype.
Alright, we have to move on. Alright? We're just gonna try and answer some questions. Alright? Okay, we're getting interrupted. Alright. We appreciate all donations, of course. Alright. 2. Do you guys do any freelance design services or web media? Producing graphics, GIFs, and what other services do you offer in terms of graphic design? All graphic design services you want, baby. You want something done, we can do it.
I'm kind of retired from thumbnails.
Eric's past on that level.
Kind of retired from thumbnails. Working on a piece for a certain individual right now.
Alright.
Animation.
For me, little bit of web design, a little bit of t-shirt.
I am working full time, so the whole commission thing's
It's kind of dead.
not dead. It'll fit, but
Yeah, you gotta fit it in. But DMs are open for commissions. Prices are the prices. All right. You're gonna have to pay for the work. The fee is the fee.
Yeah.
We're not. Come on. All right.
Animation is expensive. All right.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. Now,
Moving on.
page 1, he's gonna go $5. He says that he loves
This
us.
man funding our entire day.
We appreciate you, page 1.
Appreciate it. He just made the value of the video in all his donations. All right.
Sure.
And we've got Silvers in here contributing nothing.
He dropped up $2.
We've got
Okay.
Silvers in here talking about Ruby.
Is Silver's channel still alive?
I see him do videos here or there.
Okay.
Alright, I see him. Now, he is in the general chat.
He's muted though.
I don't know what he's lurking. He's lurking.
How many questions do we have left?
A couple.
All right.
From Bindle. When will be the time Eric has a full breakdown on the Endeavor fight and is not good?
I haven't seen the Endeavor fight.
Have you-
Never got that far.
When did you go to a firefight? I know you got to a fire ice.
Yeah, it was fucking Todoroki versus fucking Deku, and then the fucking Bloodman. The Bloodman, whatever his fucking name is, the dude with the weird tongue, Bloodstained, I think his name is.
Samurai guy.
Sorta.
Yeah.
His whole ideology and that fight in the manga,
Yeah.
drop.
Okay.
That's what happened.
You got mad?
It wasn't good. The manga paneling and action, bad. Effects, bad.
Okay.
Pace, speed, power,
Maybe we can make a spicy Twitter thread about this.
bad.
Maybe a spicy Twitter thread.
And again, I complain about Endeavor because of his lighting effects. He doesn't light the room. He's on fire. He doesn't even light himself appropriately. And Todoroki, Fire and Ice use it at the same time. You can barely... the lighting doesn't work.
It was just complaints, alright?
You gotta do the lighting
Okay.
and the effects.
Alright. From Red Robin Podcast, which duo do you think would win a fight? Katakuri Smoothie or Magellan and Shiryu? I mean, we've got Smoothie, we can bring out the poison. We've been through this.
On Katakuri as well.
That's what I'm saying. So we're going to have to give the Katakuri and
Now,
Smoothie.
does Magellan have the ability to counteract the future sight? Much as Shiryu as well.
We'll give it to Katakuri and Smoothie, alright? I
Sure.
think that's a fair statement.
Why did you throw in Magellan?
Magellan and Shiryu. I guess
there was some kind of duel at some point.
Yeah,
Sure.
I guess. Alright. From Oda-san supporter, again, he's got a few questions for us. This man always dropping a few questions.
Big questions, sure.
First question. What do you think the world government did to Goldie Rogers' body after he died? There's theories. He's in the ice room. Aimu's got him. Alright.
Do you think Garp gave him respectable burial? And Sengoku? Sengoku Fleet Admiral at the time.
They were there, though. At the execution.
Sure, but the body would have been in Navy
Hands.
hands.
Who knows?
Garp probably gave that respectful burial on Rouge's Island.
On Rouge's Island.
Portuguese D. Rouge's Island.
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like you said a Rouge.
Not a Rouge.
Alright.
Rouge.
The Mad D Monk.
Okay. Get excited.
Not that excited. Alright. 2. What do you guys consider to be the best and worst chapter and episode of the series?
Big Mom Amnesia's pretty bad.
Big Mama Amnesia might be the worst chapter. Best chapter? You got Shanks stopping the war. You got Ultimate.
We do have Ultimate.
Alright.
Ultimate, appropriate title.
You got a lot of Reverie chapters. Shanks of the Gorosei. Shanks saying Luffy's the 5th Emperor.
Chapter
fifth
one,
Emperor?
Chapter 0, Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Who can forget? Alright?
Just an arm.
That's right. Alright? Can't forget. Third question. Do you guys think the final chapter of 2020 will look like? This year? Some war chapter,
How many chapters are left?
Who the fuck knows?
Maybe 20? if
Maybe
we're lucky?
maximum 20.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. Maximum 20.
10 if we keep going like the way we're going. Can you imagine? Brutal. brutality.
All right. Moving on to Bardock, also known as Andre, also known
Blood
as
Man.
the Blood Edgy Man.
Bloodthirst.
All right. When will we get a outside the studio tour? I'm curious to see what the outside that doors look like. You'll never find out. You got a little glimpse when Eric had a little accident. All
I don't think that it's too bright out there, so
Uh,
if the camera doesn't.
Yeah, something got picked up, but we are in a void.
Yes.
All right, a mystical location. All right. But seriously, I've read the manga that one manga magazine is going to do a double
chapters.
I've read that one manga magazine is going to do double chapters content issue. Could Shonen Jump do that with One Piece and release 2 chapters once?
No.
Here's the thing. Oda says he's still drawing. It's an assistant issue.
Absolutely not.
So Oda's still going at the same pace.
There will never be double chapters of One Piece.
Oda's going at the same pace. They just can't get the chapters out.
Yeah, I know. There won't be a double
Yeah,
chapter.
there could be a double chapter. All right. From Reagan. Or
Sure.
Raga. Will we ever find out where the hell Page 1 was the past 2 weeks? Did he get Amnesia 2 after losing to Sanji?
If he fights Sanji again, we might find out. If that's Sanji's final opponent.
Sure, he looks like he's fine though. Like I don't know. He just gave up looking for him as well.
Sure.
Kind of weird. I don't know. It's a weird. He just went back to Onigashima. Who the fuck knows? You know. All right. And that's the final question.
And that's
the
it.
show.
Another one in the bag.
Another show in the bag. Call-in episode.
Interesting questions.
Interesting questions. Like the show. Subscribe to the show. Shanks the God King.
Good night.